Shalom, family. What's up? We live. We live. For those who catch this video later, this a live stream. Just waiting on YouTube to send those notifications out. What up, fam? As you can see, y'all see me really grinding hard on this YouTube because you know what? Evil ain't taking a day off. So I got to keep going in. But I'm going to say this right now, warning, some things that you may hear in this particular live stream may be graphic, may be a bit graphic, but it's truth. The truth can be a bit graphic. What's good? I realize that everything that is a post-apocalyptic event, everybody think everything's supposed to happen in sections, when really everything in this post-apocalyptic world we living in these last days, everything happening at one time. And we're going to talk about it today. The truth is a lot stranger than fiction. The truth is a lot stranger than fiction. But before I get into it, let's see who all up in here. Alex Bliff. Hello, hello. Mark McGrew. Derek Ellis. Stephanie Joe. King Dan to come up. D Carter. Lisa Marie. Yeah. AR Rainflow. Yeah, y'all up in here. I'm glad y'all can make it. And shout out to all y'all who've been showing support on these videos. Let's talk about it. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to examine what the characteristics of a zombie is. Right? Zombies are unable to think for themselves. Zombies only see flesh and want to go after the flesh. Correct? Zombies can be swayed in any direction. But this is not an esoteric meaning of the zombie apocalypse that I'm about to speak about. In actuality, there are real live zombies out here. I'm talking about flesh-eating zombies. And this is some news that's not really being covered that much, but I like to dig deep. I like to do my research. I mean, if you go on BBC News website, it's an epidemic of cannibalism. You got it going on in Syria. You got it going on in Liberia, different parts of the world. You got a couple not even too long ago that ate a dozen people. And these people are very difficult to apprehend. They seem to be on something. But we're going to talk about this. It's something I want you all to hear. I want y'all to listen closely. What you're about to hear is a rabbi, a Jewish rabbi. And he's going to be speaking about certain things regarding the food that we're being served. All right?
To us for pennies, we're the wholesalers, we're the middlemen. We mark it way up and sell it to the other goyim on the retail side. There's an old saying in Yiddish that the reason that God made Gentiles is because somebody has to pay retail. It's not going to be the Jew for sure. The Jew doesn't pay retail. It's the goyim that pays retail. We buy wholesale.
Well, that's very interesting. I understand that, but I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but
All right, so in this candid interview with this Jewish rabbi, you got the host of the show saying, hey, around your Jewish Passover, there seems to be a lot of children missing. Ladies and gentlemen, there are 800,000 children missing a year in America. 800,000 children missing in America. But I want y'all to notice, there's no public outrage about this. There is no public outrage at all about this. Think about that. It must take some real dumbed down society for our children to be missing in this way. And there's no public outrage. Let me continue to play.
You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzah balls and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover.
Well, there was a Goyim that wrote a book about it.
So, as you can see, on these what they call holidays, certain things happen, sacrifices happen, the letting of blood in children. So some of these missing children, where do you think they are? For people who think this is wrong or this is not fact, I want you to continue to listen. And if you have a better idea of where these missing children are, then you let me know.
Back in the 30s, I forget his name at the moment, but anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues, where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies.
They eat the blood of their enemies. He's literally telling you where the missing children are. Around their sacrificial holidays, they're draining the blood of the children and they're eating them. These people are demonic. But it's much more to this. Because you're going to find out that everybody's participating. In one shape, form, or fashion, everybody are participants. And we're going to talk about that.
And the bodies, we're not cannibals. So what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses, and those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger, and that's why we made those the most popular thing, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch.
That's why they made sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch the most popular foods. Think about this. You go to McDonald's in the morning. On your way to work, you want to grab a sausage biscuit. What is in that meat? It's ground meat. What are you eating? Lunchtime comes around. You want to grab you a burger. What's in that ground meat?
And so all the goyim out here are really eating their children.
All the goyim out here are really eating their children. So Jewish people, they consider us to be goyim. They consider us to be, what goyim means is basically we're the lowest of the low. We're useless eaters. We're sheep. That sounds like a zombie apocalypse to me. Recently, with the chicken sandwich from Popeyes, right? You had people acting nothing short of primal and animalistic. Once they got a taste of whatever they were eating, it drove a mass amount of people absolutely insane. We've seen people diving through drive-through windows all over the United States for a chicken sandwich. Is nobody seeing this? So when you see all of these shows like The Walking Dead, Dead Set, all of these zombie movies, all of these shows, programs, movies, you're already seeing the zombie apocalypse live and direct, right in person. The truth is stranger than fiction. The truth is stranger than fiction. I'm going to tell you right now, my fast food days, they over. They over.
And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's...
Even when we tell you outright, you don't believe it. That's what this man is telling you. We're telling you something outright. You don't believe it. You know why? Because the truth is a very, very difficult pill to swallow. That's why. We cannot wrap our minds around the fact that people can be so demented, evil, and twisted. But you live in a world and a country, for that matter, that was founded on demonic principles. I know a lot of people think that this land was built on fundamental Christian values. And I know a lot of people within the Christian church believe that they should support the Jewish people. They should support them, right? Here you have a Jewish rabbi telling you what's happening with the missing children. Here you have a Jewish rabbi coming right out, telling you flat out what they do on their holidays.
That's your problem. You know, I've got to...
Let's play that again. Tell you right what's happening.
It's the goyim that pays retail. We buy wholesale. Among ourselves, because we're both going to make a lot of money, it's just who's going to make a little more on this deal and who's going to make a little more on that deal. The bottom line, though, is we have the goyim. The goyim does all the work. The goyim makes all the stuff. He sells it to us for pennies. We're the wholesalers. We're the middlemen. We market way up and sell it to the other goyim on the retail side. There's an old saying in Yiddish that the reason that God made Gentiles is because somebody has to pay retail. It's not going to be the Jew for sure. The Jew doesn't pay retail. It's the goyim that pays retail. We buy wholesale.
Well, that's very interesting. I understand that. But I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very...
Now, notice he said a lot. Notice he said a lot of police stations and fire departments have been informed. So this is orchestrated right here from what you just heard. Because this other guy's Jewish as well. And he's saying, you know, we have different Passovers. And he said, I understand that, you know, the police department and the fire department, they already know. They're in on it too. Around holiday time, that's when the children begin to become missing. So here you go. Right now, you're on the cusp of Halloween. And you're going to have the mass amount of people celebrating this holiday. And you're going to have some missing children. Because that's what they do. We think that their holidays is innocent and all of that. Ain't nothing innocent about it.
Among ourselves, because we're both going to make a lot of money. It's just who's going to make a little more on this deal and who's going to make a little more on that deal. The bottom line, though, is we have the goyim. The goyim does all the work. The goyim makes all the stuff. He sells it to us for pennies. We're the wholesalers. We're the middlemen. We market way up and sell it to the other goyim on the retail side. There's an old saying in Yiddish that the reason that God made Gentiles is because somebody has to pay retail. It's not going to be the Jew for sure. The Jew doesn't pay retail. It's the goyim that pays retail. We buy wholesale.
Well, that's very interesting. I understand that. But I also know the bloodletting. I know that on your Passover, which isn't mine, that a lot of little children do disappear, and I do know that, and I know a lot of police departments and agencies have been informed, but you're very open. You're very open tonight. I'm very surprised that you're talking about the bloodletting of the little children, that you put their blood in the matzo balls, and that you eat it on sacrifice on Passover.
Well, there was a Goyim that wrote a book about it back in the 30s. I forget his name at the moment. But anyway, he wrote the book. People didn't buy the book. People don't want to listen. We've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years, since down to Adam's time. We take the children of our enemy, which is the white race, and we bring them to the basements in the synagogues, where we drain the blood and watch them die there. It's very similar to how we do the sacrifices that we do with the kosher butchering, and so we do that, and then we mix it with the Passover bread, and so we eat the blood of our enemies. And the bodies, we're not cannibals, so what we do is we take those, because we can make some shekels, and we give them to the slaughterhouses. And those are pounds and pounds and pounds of meat that we grind up in the sausage and the hamburger. And that's why we made those the most popular things, sausage for breakfast and hamburger for lunch. And so all the Goyim out here.
So notice they said they're not cannibals. They just drain the blood from children. They said they take the rest of the body, and they grind it up, and they put it in your ground beef. They put it in the sausages and the hamburger. That's why they made those the most popular foods here in America. The truth is stranger than fiction, ladies and gentlemen. 800. Now wrap your mind around this. 800,000 missing children. And that's not even talking about how many missing people there is. Now they know the reason why they only drink the blood, and they make sure that you actually get the human body. They grind it up and make sure they feed it to the general public. The reason why they make sure of that is because they know what's going to happen chemically within the body. Now you tell me another reason why people would act so savagely over a sandwich. And we're going to see a lot more of this. And I understand this is hard for a lot of people to digest. I'm looking at the comments. It's real hard to digest. But y'all got to understand, when it comes to this truth, when we have understanding, when we're bringing something forth, trust and believe we're fully confident in this, because we know what these demonic powers are doing. We know how they operate. That's why walking in this truth, your confidence level skyrockets. It's almost like when you playing Uno, right? When you playing Uno and you got that Uno card, right? That last card, that draw 4, that skip, draw 4, skip, draw 4. Yeah, you already know what's happening. So that's just what it is. You could take it or leave it. That's what keeps us stable in this truth. We know the mass majority of people are not even going to believe, just like this man just said. The mass majority are not going to believe it. We tell them right to their face, and they're not going to believe it. That's how the truth works. We talk about zombie apocalypse, The Walking Dead, all of these different shows, right? And they make it so you think this is something that's pending. When it comes to prophecy, all of the things that's happening in this world is happening simultaneously at one time. The horsemen of the apocalypse, the veils that have been loosed, all happen simultaneously. So what you're witnessing right now is a zombie apocalypse. Anytime you see people jumping through a damn drive-through window for a sandwich, and it's people. My bad, fam. I got interrupted with a phone call.
are really eating children. And even when we say this outright and tell you people, you don't believe it. So that's your problem.
Even when we tell you people outright, you don't believe it, so it's your problem. Y'all gotta look at who control this society that you live in. You gotta look at who owns all the banks. You wanna know who controls everything? Follow the money. Follow the money. So when the people who control this society, this system, this matrix you live in, when they tell you something right out, they know that you're not even going to believe it. But guess what? They did what they were supposed to do. They told you. See, the Most High gives you a choice in life. Gives you a choice. It's up to you to make a decision. The truth is going to go everywhere. Now, this video is not me trying to tell everybody to go vegan. It's not what I'm saying. This video is not me trying to shame people of their diets. The point of this video is to show you that instead of waiting on a pending, what they call zombie apocalypse, based on their agenda and a promotion of a zombie apocalypse, you're actually already having one. And I would advise brothers and sisters to purchase their meat elsewhere. Definitely don't do the fast food. And I would be very, very wary of any kind of ground meat. Maybe decide to go to a butcher. Somewhere that has a real butcher where you can get your meat. That's all I'm saying. A lot of people can't get it. It's fake. Yep, facts. A lot of mixed emotions right now. Hey, listen, I can expect that. I can expect mixed emotions because, hey, there's something that's serious.
You know, I've got a question, and I yes, it is a problem. But you see, I've always wondered, how did you Jews ever get control of the, i.e., Christian churches in this country? It's always baffled me to a varying degree, Rabbi Finkelstein. You know, you have your synagogue out there in New York on the East Coast, but I'm wondering, how did you ever totally get control of these Christian churches who at one time...
How did you get complete control of these Christian churches? And this is a segue. This is the segue to the mental zombies. We just talked about how there's physical zombies, there's flesh eaters, they're programming, and there's an agenda to have everybody pretty much zombies. We didn't even mention the pharmaceutical industry yet, but we're going to get there. But they just segued on a video to what's happening in these churches. They took control of the churches and created spiritual zombies as well. They turned the men hyper emotional in these churches. It's when a bunch of men in a church get together and all you see is a bunch of crying, like a bunch of hoes. Something's wrong with that. Now, don't get me wrong. Christ, he wept. Christ wept for a real reason. But when you see these men in these churches being hyper emotional, hypersensitive, crying, they're not men of valor. We at times of war. Ain't no reason why a bunch of grown men up in these churches falling out crying like a bunch of hoes, man. But the church, the powers that be, that's telling you what's happening with these children, telling you that they overtook the Christian church. That's why it's not enough truth coming out of the churches. That's why there's no laws coming out these churches. We got to wake up. There's no public outrage against any of this.
Told their congregations to stay away from you Jews. How did that happen?
Well, our Father Lucifer, the number one thing of all the organizations out there on the earth that we would want to
He just said his father, Lucifer.
infiltrate and take over of Ugoyim, obviously would be the churches. So we attacked them first, and we attacked them most. And we infiltrated the Catholic Church right from the very beginning. Why do you think the Pope and all the cardinals and the bishops wear a yarmulke? The white race never figures this out. And so then we took all your books that had all your scriptures in there, and we burned them. And then we wrote them in Latin so that you couldn't understand them. But we understood Latin because we're Jews and we're smart and we're educated. But you, Goyim out there, you never teach yourself. You don't self-teach.
You don't teach yourself, you don't self-teach. Now, it sounds like to me that the devil tells you the truth and puts it right in plain sight. That's what it sounds like to me. So while we waiting on a zombie apocalypse, it's already one going on. It's already in a zombie apocalypse. You got people spiritually dead every day. It's like night of the living dead. Have you been to the high schools lately? These kids are doped up on psychotropics. When youngins used to have so much fire and vigor, they don't have that no more. They walking around drooling, man. Here it is. We got a pharmaceutical industry that continues to kill us over and over and over with various diseases. All of the medication has adverse effects. People are dying left and right. People continue to get vaccinations. It gotta be Night of the Living Dead. It gotta be Night of the Living Dead if we can't see this. Let's talk about the cannibal couple that been detained for eating up to 30 people. We waiting on a zombie apocalypse. It's already here. And that situation with Popeyes, we're going to see a lot more of these type of things happening. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's a lot more of these type of things happening.
Some really creepy news from Russia's south. Police have detained what is alleged to be a cannibal family. Police told RT that 2 Krasnodar citizens are suspected of killing and eating up to 30 people. Roman Kosarov has the story.
Two people, a husband and wife, were arrested on murder charges. They're accused of killing and dismembering the body of their drinking companion, a woman, on the 8th of September here in Krasnodar. However, the story is certainly tragic, but here's where the horror starts. Police sources told RT the pair could have killed and eaten as many as 30 people. Here's a comment from the investigative committee.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is happening a lot. I mean, it's happening a lot. There are so many different situations in minute locations where this is happening, where people are literally eating people. Johnny P says, if the zombie apocalypse is already happening, why am I here typing? Because you got to understand, Johnny P, that everything in this post-apocalyptic, these last days, these tribulations, these days of revelations, everything is actually happening simultaneously. You're getting a little bit of everything all at once. The television is nothing but a dramatization of what's happening. That's all it is. The TV got to make it more, interesting. But it's actually already happening. It's actually already happening. Let's look at the characteristics of a zombie, right? A zombie cannot use critical thinking skills. A zombie only goes after flesh. When you look at it mentally, people are zombies. 800,000 missing children a year. No public outrage. And we want to talk about everything except what's actually happening in the world. I mean, we're looking at the valley of the dry bones that was spoken of in the book of Ezekiel. It is literally Night of the Living Dead out here. Cannibalism is rising to an all-time high. These are the signs of the times. So my job is just to blow the trumpet on this and let y'all know what it is. While you waiting for one huge event to happen, and it's going to be this big zombie apocalypse, because I see a lot of videos, various videos going on about a zombie apocalypse about to take place and all of that. Nah, they got it wrong. It's already happening. Everything in Revelations is happening simultaneously. You can see it all happening at once. And that's the way the enemy confuses you. Because while you waiting on one huge event to take place, you waiting on a chemical spill or something like that, when you could turn on World Star and see people jumping through a drive-through window of a sandwich, and nobody bats an eye about it. People laugh about it. You already watching a zombie apocalypse happening. People are mentally, physically, and spiritually dead, walking the streets, walking dead. So it's already happening. So all those videos that's going on about the zombie apocalypse is already happening. We just don't take the time to do the research on what's happening in the world. There are so many events taking place with people getting ate, with people eating people. Like this is happening everywhere. Nobody's talking about it. That's all. Yep, drug addicts. Have you ever seen a crackhead? You're looking at a zombie. You're looking at somebody who's dead in the eyes. Not saying that crackhead can't be delivered, but at that moment, they walking dead. But the truth is, what do we do to protect ourselves? So now we realize there's a battle between mind, body, and soul. It's a battle of your mind, body, and soul. The devil trying to attack you at every direction, right? So you got to stay prayed up, put the full armor of the Most High on, and just be careful what you do, what you put in your system. You got to protect yourself physically as well, clearly. And stop waiting on the zombie apocalypse, because it's already happening. We waiting on martial law. Martial law is already happening. We waiting for it in one huge event, right? But anytime you can't walk outside of your door without the fear of being shot and killed by a police officer, that's martial law. Because they already got your mind. They got you living in fear. But I just thought I'd come through and make this video. Y'all got a lot more videos on the way. I'd like to thank y'all for watching. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, share, subscribe, shalom, and peace.